Okay, we're recording. So, hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Okay, you guys know that, I'm very always quick and to the point. I want to add some other inspiration to my channel. I want to inspire you guys, most importantly, women, to get off the sidelines and show you that women are doing this. Okay, we are just more undercover. Okay, we're more just doing our thing, but I'm going to highlight some women. Kendra is my special guest today, and she is killing it, and she's doing a different strategy that she's going to talk about, okay? But first, let me have Kendra introduce herself, where you're from.
Awesome. Hey, everyone. My name is Kendra. I'm the founder of The Key Resource, and I am currently in Washington, D.C. I'm a real estate investor, and I'm a buy and hold investor. So basically buy properties, hold them, and rent them out. I don't flip. I don't wholesale. Those are amazing strategies. I just don't personally do them. And I started The Key Resource basically to do the same thing that you're doing, Jennifer, and that's like inspire, educate, right, and empower. So I'm so glad to be here.
Thank you. And thank you for agreeing to do this. I appreciate it. We have to step up, okay, especially as brown women, to inspire other women to show that you can indeed do it. Don't let being a female hold you back. Don't let being brown be an excuse in 2019. Like, that's your mindset. That's all about you. Don't let anything hold you back. So, all right, so let's start, because Kendra actually retired, okay, at the age of 32. So congratulations, baby girl. And meaning, she retired her 9 to 5, but now she's working for herself, okay? She's her own boss. Nobody could fire her. She doesn't need a permission slip to go to the bathroom, to go to the doctor appointment, okay, to take vacation. So listen, how many people can you say retired to start their own business on real estate at 32? Okay, so that in itself is amazing. So I wanted to ask you, what made you want to get into real estate?
I actually started like really randomly. I don't come from a family of real estate investors. I do not come from a wealthy family. I come from a middle class, like just a regular old military family, actually. But after I got married in 2013, my husband and I played this game called Cash Flow.
Yes. Yes.
I'm sure you love it, right?
I love it.
What investor doesn't love cash flow?
Right.
But, it's like Monopoly for any of you who have not played it. But I can't stand Monopoly, but I love cash flow.
Right.
And basically, long story short, the object of the game, in order to win and to get out of the rat race of life, so to speak.
Rat race.
Yeah, stop living paycheck to paycheck, stop, being burdened with debt. You had to make smart investments. And what we found was literally the only way to win the game was to invest in real estate. You could invest in stocks and things like that, and that would definitely help you get to invest in real estate, but you could not win without real estate. And we walked away from that game like, wait, so in real life, we need to be investing in real estate to win the game of life, right? And so that just catapulted this like interest in real estate. We went from like 0 to 100 really quick, and we didn't know what we were doing. We made tons of mistakes, and that's why I do what I do now, to help people get started better than we did.
Right. To propel them. To propel them faster, because listen, when you're failing, not really failing, but making mistakes, that's where the growth happens. Okay. So when you're dealing with someone with like Kendra or me, we already made the mistakes for you. Okay, so we're condensing your journey to propel you faster. Okay, now just to speak on the game, real estate as opposed to stocks. Okay, now I'll tell you why I like real estate as opposed to stocks personally, is because stocks to me we don't know what the heck's going on with the stock. No. Okay, to me that's essentially gambling. With real estate, totally calculated risk. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Know your market, know where to buy, know what your repairs are going to be. You know what price you're going to sell for roundabout. So it's a calculated risk, which is completely different than a stock. Okay. And second of all, real estate is always appreciating. It's always in cycles, of course. Okay. And yes, we're due for another crash. Okay. But at the end of the day, if you're buying it right, that's when you're making your profit. Mm-hmm. Okay. So now I know that you dabble in Airbnb, right?
Yeah, Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so speak on that. So what made you get interested in Airbnbs?
So it's really important to me as an investor to make sure that I diversify my renter portfolio. Like, I don't want to have all Airbnb, all Section 8, all what we call like cash tenants. So that's like a regular tenant that's not Airbnb, it's not Section 8. You know, there's someone just like literally a person who's paying you out of their own pocket every month. So since we have 8 units, we just wanted to make sure that we had income coming in from different places. We do Section 8. So that's that guaranteed check every month from the DC government, right? Airbnb allows you to make way more money than you're going to get from any long-term tenant, but it is more high maintenance. So usually, so the Airbnb that we had up and running, the market rent is about $1,200 a month if we were just to rent it out to a regular renter. But with Airbnb, we were making like $3,000 to $4,000 a month. So
nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So now that's because the turnover, if they're doing it weekly, do you have a minimum? Is it like 3 days or a week minimum, or?
We were doing 1 night minimum. So 1 night stays, 2 night stays, and you just make way more money that way. But it is labor intensive. You have to make sure you have like extra sheets and towels. You have to make sure you have a stellar cleaning person that's gonna like turn it over quickly for you. So there's benefits to doing it, but it is high maintenance.
Okay, and that's still something that you're doing currently?
Yeah, so not in that unit anymore, but we are doing it in another unit.
Okay, so we'll get back to the Airbnb, but speak on Section 8, okay? Because a lot of people have misconceptions on Section 8. I mean, I've spoken earlier in my career, I've spoken to investors who invested in Section 8, and their experience left a bad taste in my mouth for me, okay? Because to me, it became like, oh my God, it sounds like another job, you know, managing it, the type of person you're attracting potentially. So speak on that, because, you know, they're good and bad, and for you, you like it. So maybe your experience is different, and you could draw some insight to people on why they potentially maybe should go into that. Because everyone has a, you know, oh my God, don't go into the war zone areas. And, you know, that's like, I don't want to touch that area. You know what I mean? Like, it's not as bad. I personally don't think it's as bad as what people make it out to be. You know, it's like taboo. So speak on your experience with it, you know, the pros, the cons, and what you've encountered.
Well, it can be bad, and we have had bad experiences, and we have learned from those, and we have grown, but we still do Section 8. The one thing that people should understand is that when you're getting into voucher programs, like Section 8 is a voucher program. Basically, the government is paying for this person's living expenses, right? You're receiving that money from the government. Section 8 isn't really the only voucher program. There are disabled veteran programs. There are programs for people with disabilities. There are homeless citizen programs and things like that. So you really need to first make sure you understand what programs your city has to offer. And then the other thing is, the one thing people don't know is that before you accept a Section 8 tenant, you can go and visit where they currently live and see how they're living, which is, I definitely recommend that to people. There are some cons. What we found is that some of the Section 8 tenants that we received in the beginning, before we really knew what we were doing, it's not that they're bad people. And I think that's the misconception. Like, oh, they're all just terrible people. They're going to come tear my place up. But what's happened is these people have been in the system and they've been mistreated for so long. They've been underserved for so long that they are just coming into it with a certain mindset, and it
Defensive.
Very defensive. It takes a lot more grooming, a lot more of a personal relationship. And so,
and that's, let me just interject for a second. And that's what I think is very important. Okay. I think, you know, some people don't like to show that they are the landlord if they're collecting rent. Okay. Now, listen, I don't have a problem with that, because I am all about relationship building. And when they know that you're a human being and that you listen, if you have a problem, please let me know, because you guys are my family. At the end of the day, like, we are in this together. Okay. So when they understand that and they see that, wow, she actually really cares, and that's what they're getting, the person cares, then they're going to care. And that's what it is. When someone's hands off, and you're that slum landlord and you're not answering their phone calls and something's like leaking and you're letting them be miserable, of course, listen, you get what you give at the end of the day, you know, most of the time. So I wanted to speak on that because I think that's very important. You have to treat people like a human being.
Definitely. And for us, the decision to do Section 8, we do it in in our multi-unit, our 4-unit property, because just like I was saying with Airbnb, how you can make so much more money in DC, and especially in this particular neighborhood, the Section 8 rental rates are way higher than what we would make just putting it out there on the market, like almost double. And so we're willing to work harder, groom a little bit, kind of make personal relationships, because the amount of money we're making with a Section 8 tenant does not even compare to what we would make, and it's guaranteed. But yeah, it's just.
So let's speak on that. So let's go back to that, because that's another thing. People wouldn't think that they're going to get premium rents from Section 8. Okay, so let's say if your normal rent would be, your normal rent for that 4-unit would be what approximately without Section 8?
Let's just say for the 3-bedroom, there's a 3-bedroom, a 1-bedroom, and 2 2-bedrooms.
Yes.
So for the 3-bedroom, we may get around, I don't know, 2,100 just on the market, but we're getting like 4,000.
Wow, so that's incredible. Now, why is that though? Do you know?
I have no idea. No,
because, the government. I mean, let's not question that too hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, we like that. We like that, but you know, the government is usually stingy. So the fact that the rents are, you know, they're giving for the program that much, that's phenomenal. Okay.
Yeah, and that is with utilities included. But yeah, so I mean, the area that our 4-unit is in too has just gone through like a gentrification process, and so they give you basically the top. If the market rent had a scale, they give you like the top of the scale. So there are 3 bedrooms in this area that may rent for $2,100, $2,500, and there are some that'll rent for up to $4,000. So
that's an incentive, essentially, guys. Okay, so for those of you that are afraid of the whole Section 8 situation, okay, listen to what Kendra is saying and build relationships and groom the tenants that are going into your rental. Okay, and respect them and let them know that you're going to take care of the place. It's not going to be a slum situation. Okay, and they're going to have pride in the place that they live in. So it's not such a bad taboo situation. So, don't let that stop you from going into an area that you're uncomfortable with and you think that, you don't have the money to buy in a premium area. Explore those other areas because you're going to get paid handsomely. It's going to be a great investment. And I mean, your experience, I guess you've had some bad experience with Section 8. Listen, there's always, not if you're in a good area or a bad area, okay? You're always going to have some good and bad. So, and I know some people get turned off so easily with real estate. Oh, I don't want to clean toilets. Oh, it's a nightmare. Listen, okay? I would much rather deal with situations like that and continue to build wealth and an empire then continue just to work your 9 to 5 and build someone else's dream, honey, and have a limited income. So if that's your mindset, then you're holding yourself back. That's silliness, okay? So,
and think about it like this, because putting Section 8 aside, people are always afraid of having bad tenants, period. And my thing is, I used to be a renter, and if you're listening to this and you rent right now, or you used to be a renter, think about the kind of renter that you were. Like, I was a pretty awesome renter. I never caused any problems. I did not tear my landlord's place up. So there are people out there just like you who are looking to rent. Like, that fact alone, like, think about your friends. Are your friends bad renters? Like, no, there are people just like that. So what you could do to get started is think about, okay, where would I want to live? Where do my friends or any other renters I know that are good renters, where do they want to live? Can I afford to buy in that place? Can I afford to buy maybe not in those neighborhoods, but in another neighborhood and kind of fix the house up and attract a renter like myself? You know what I'm saying? There are good renters out there.
100%. So now, okay, so I kind of went fast forward into Kendra's real estate career, okay? Now, and that's to inspire you to see, what she's accomplished. But let's rewind a little bit and go back to when she was able to quit her job. And maybe let's talk about maybe your first deal. And then you could go into your journey on, how you ended up getting to leave your 9 to 5. So people could see that that is possible. It is possible, guys. So, okay, it's just so exciting because when you start to get into this business and you really start building your portfolio, and then you start to layer. Okay, every year you're adding and adding and adding and adding, and every year you're getting more passive income. Depending on what you're making per year, honey, it is realistic to make your yearly salary in a month.
Yeah, definitely.
So, okay, so speak on that, baby girl.
And I do want to add like a little caveat. So I know we're talking numbers, and I was telling you guys about like what I'm making Airbnb and Section 8. If you live in a place where you're not getting those same rents, do not think you're doing it wrong. I get so many messages like, oh, I saw what you said about I'm in DC. It's a very high cost of living area. If you're in Alabama, Atlanta, like don't compare the numbers like that. It's all about like cost of living and things like that, right? So, but anyway, our very first deal was a duplex.
Good point.
Yeah. Our very first deal was a duplex, and we played that game cash flow. We literally started looking for rentals like the next day, which was so insane because we had
hysterical.
We had no savings, like no idea what we were doing. And we found this duplex, and the only analysis we did was, okay, the mortgage is going to be like a little over $1,000. We could probably make $1,000 per unit. Let's buy it. Like literally the most basic analysis you could ever do. But we still own that property. It's an amazing property. Great cash flow, great returns. But here's where we messed up. So we owned a house at the time.
Let's rewind for a second, okay? Let's rewind. So I want to speak on, see how they didn't overthink it, okay? They weren't like, oh my God, I need this percentage. I need the vacancy fee. I need the blah fee. I need the okay? They didn't overthink it. Yes, they did their numbers, okay? And yes, they could have broken it down a little bit more, but they still have that property. So if you're in your head too much, get the hell out of your head, because you're never going to get off the fence. That's the thing that drives me crazy. People are like, but what about this? But what about that? But what? And this and that. I'm like, oh my God, just get off the damn fence already.
Do it, because the thing about investing is once you put your money on the line, you're going to figure it out. Like once you get out there, listen.
Game time. It's like game on. We got to make this work.
You'll figure it out and you'll be fine. And see, I think that's one of the issues we have now, because when we got started, like 5 years ago, there was no one like you on YouTube that I could look at. There was no one on Instagram like me and all my other real estate investor friends. And so that analysis paralysis didn't exist because we were just out there winging it. And so while there is a benefit to having people like you and me, I think people do get stuck with this like
big time. It's information overload. I didn't have that either. You know, we had like little blog and websites and Bigger Pockets was very little at the time. But now it's like everyone has a different way of doing it, and people are like, what the hell? They don't know if they're coming or going. So it's a benefit, but like you said, but it deters people too, because they don't know where the hell to start. So so I want to rewind one more a little bit too. So now acquiring that property, was that a traditional mortgage? Conventional FHA?
We did conventional. Honestly, like this is so embarrassing. We didn't know that any other
type of embarrassing, Mama. It's not embarrassing because listen, you took action.
Yeah.
That's everything. Okay.
That's true. But we didn't even know. We didn't know about any other type of financing. We didn't know any other type of financing besides a mortgage. We didn't even know anything other than conventional. So we did conventional. We put 25% down that we did not have. We actually did something that most financial gurus hate when I say this, but we pulled the money from our retirement accounts because we didn't have, where were we going to get 25% of?
That's not, first of all, this is opening a whole nother topic, and I'm totally not going to digress. But listen, we all know that the 401k is lazy money. Okay. You know, one thing that I have not spoke on, but I eventually will, is self-directed IRAs. Okay. And hell yeah, take it out of that retirement, because that retirement's barely making you anything, homegirl and homeboys. Take it out. Put it in a self-directed IRA. And then once you start the real estate game, and listen, I'm not a tax person. I'm not anything like that. Okay. I'm just kind of guide you. If you want to play the game right. Okay, and we're not educated this in school. We're not taught this in school, so it's so frustrating. Okay, you have to kind of figure this out on your own and kind of put the pieces together. And then once you get in, you learn more and more. But the tax game will kill you if you don't learn how to play it. And I'm still learning, homeboys and homegirls. But I'm going to share self-directed IRA. Put the money in there, buy your properties from there, put it back in there. No taxes. I'm not an accountant though. You check that out for yourself, but look into a self-directed IRA. Okay, so I'm sorry I digress, but hell no, that wasn't a mistake, baby girl, to take that out of retirement.
It really wasn't. For us, we made way more money on that money than it would have made in that account. That's not going to be the same for everybody. So if you decide to do that, please consult with your accountant or whoever. But you're essentially taking a loan from yourself and you're paying yourself back with interest. And so it is a great tool if you use it right.
100%.
Yeah. So we pulled the money from our retirement account.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. Let's just rewind for a second, okay? So now you guys played the game cash flow. Okay. The next day you guys are out on the street looking for duplexes. Okay. Then you're like with conventional loan because you didn't know anything else. And then you're like, all right, we need 25% down. Now, listen, this is what I'm telling you. When people say there's a will, there's a way, there's a will, there's a way, they realized, okay, how are we going to make this happen? Okay, now everyone, if you're not in the game already, everyone's afraid to go into their retirement. Okay, so when you guys were both agreed to dip into that retirement, was it one who was leaning more towards it or the other one had to coax each other into it? Or you guys were originally just like,
no, thankfully we were both, we've always been like, we just kind of got bitten by the bug together and then we just dove in. And I do want to pause and say, because I know you're talking about inspiring women, I have a lot of women who come to me and they're like, oh, well, it's easy for you to do because you had 2 incomes, you're married. Listen, like 95% of my coaching clients are single women and they're out here buying multi-unit properties by themselves. You can do this by yourself.
100%.
I'm going to tell you how in a second, but like, don't take my story and say like, oh, I have to be married to do this. No.
100%. 100%. Okay, so continue with your duplex.
So there are 2 mistakes we made. Taking the money out of retirement wasn't one of them for us, but what we would have known was about house hacking. Like I said, we owned a house at the time, a single family house that was way too big for us. And we had to put 25% down to buy this rental property. So if you're listening and you're not familiar with how it works, if you are buying a property that you're not living in, you have to put 25% down if you're getting a mortgage. 25% is a lot of money. I mean, especially if you're talking about DC, right? So for us, that was about $57,000, right? But whenever you're buying a property that you're going to live in, you immediately take that down payment from 25% down to as low as 10%. You can put 3.5% with an FHA loan, right? And so what I wish we would have known about and I wish we would have done was the house hack, which means buying a multi-unit property, living in one and renting out the other unit. At the time, not only did we not know about it, but I honestly didn't even want to do it. Like, I didn't want to leave the comfort of my huge single family house and like live in this little apartment. I wasn't really in the wealth building mindset. We ended up house hacking later for this 4-unit. That's the only way we would have been able to afford the 4-unit. But yes, we bought the property.
So let me just interrupt for a second.
No,
okay.
Fine.
Another aspect in your mindset when you're going on this journey is sacrifice. Okay.
Yeah.
You're making temporary sacrifices for the greater good. Yeah. Okay. And when you and listen, this is the most annoying thing. When you make more money, it doesn't mean you spend more money.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Don't spend more money, especially when you're on this journey. I always tell people, do your best to live below your means, okay? You don't need to have the best thing, the newest iPhone, and this, that. Keep your finances in check, man, and it will pay off for you, even if you're focused for five years even, but then go to 10 years, okay? So stay focused with your money and understand that you're going to make sacrifices. Listen, the party's always going to be there. Whatever the heck you're thinking about is always going to be there. Okay. I'm not telling you to put your life on stop. Okay. I'm telling you to make mindful, beneficial sacrifices for the greater good of your life and your journey. So you can have 100%. So you could have a quality life. So, all right. Get it, Mom.
When you're building wealth from the ground up, like we were, like you have to make sacrifices. I did not have a silver spoon. I did not have a trust fund. Like you have to make sacrifices. I didn't really realize that then. So if we would have house hacked, we would have been able to put down 3.5%, which was about, I can't remember the math. I think it would have been about like $8,000 rather than
difference between 25 and $8,000.
Yeah, rather than $57,000. And we would have also been living in one unit, and basically the other tenant would have been paying the mortgage. So we would have been living for free essentially. And that's the beautiful thing about house hacking, is that your tenant is paying your living expenses. They're paying your debt, right? And if you are renting, you no longer are paying rent, right? You move into that multi-unit, you have no living expenses. You can save money faster, pay off student loans if you have them. The other mistake we made with house hacking, we bought the duplex. One unit was occupied, one unit was not. And we're like, cool, we're making money, just covering the mortgage. We'll just kind of slow roll it and like renovate this other unit, get it up and running. Literally a week after we bought the property, the tenant upstairs just moved out, like with no warning, just left. And we were scrambling. We're like, well, we didn't even know how to find tenants. We had never even thought about it. We're just like, we'll be fine, we'll figure it out. And so that's how we got into Airbnb, because we needed to start making money like quick.
Right.
And we're like, let's just get some furniture off Craigslist and put it on Airbnb. And then that was like the best decision ever. But the thing that we didn't do was we didn't really talk to the tenant before we bought the property. We did not look at the lease, which is so important, you guys. If you're buying an occupied property, you have to look at the lease. You need to understand, is the tenant trying to move anytime soon? Have they been paying rent on time? What are the lease terms they're under? Like so many
1 month, 6 month, month to month, a year.
Yeah, like all these different things. And so when he left, we were like, all right. So, but like I said, when your money is on the line, you're going to figure it out. And so that was like our first deal, but we still own it.
Okay, awesome. So now, how long was it before you decided that you have to get out of that 9 to 5, between thinking about leaving the 9 to 5 and then actually walking out? How long was that journey for you?
3 years. And I mean, I think people on Instagram, like they see this over. I mean, you might start following me like a few months ago, and you might have started following me like 2 months before I left my job. And to you, it seemed like it was like overnight. It was a 3-year journey for us. We had to make sure that we had ample savings. We had to make sure that our cash flow was on point. We had to make sure that our passive income was greater than our expenses, right? That's getting out of the rat race. That's literally it. So it was a 3-year journey.
Okay, so, and during that 3-year journey, were you just doing buy and holds? Were you doing the house hacking? What were you doing during that time?
Yeah, just buy and hold. So we purchased that duplex, like we had already owned a house, that single family house. And then we bought a 4-unit, which we house hacked. We lived in one, rented out the other 3, Section 8 tenants in all 3.
Wow.
We lived there. They knew we were the owners. Very interesting. Had to set some boundaries, right? Because you're literally sharing walls.
When someone says very interesting, at least I know when I say interesting, I know what's behind that, girl.
Let me tell you why this was interesting. We bought the 4-unit fully occupied except for the unit that we were going to live in. And so we're literally buying someone else's tenants. Like, these are not tenants that we interviewed. They're not tenants that we picked. They were not the best tenants. They were those tenants that people are usually worried about. Right. And so, yeah, we're living with them. We're sharing walls with these people that we really wouldn't have chosen. And right. So we had to like slowly but surely get new tenants and things like that. Sorry, guys. So yeah, so during that 3-year process, we did house hack. And then because we house hacked, because we moved into this 4-unit building, we ended up renting out our single family house, right? So then we had another rental, basically an automatic rental property. And then we were able to buy another rental basically off of all the cash flow, all the rental income we were getting. We bought another rental cash, a condo, and we were able to really.
So let me just interject again. Do you hear what Kendra is saying? Okay. She is using her profits not to go on a yacht.
Oh, no.
She's using her profits to continue to build her empire, which is, you know, I think people are so programmed wrong with finances You know, it's like, it's like when people have money in their pocket, like burns a hole in their pocket. It's like, oh my God, I got to spend it on like something material that's like, not doing anything for you, but for that 1 second, okay? They're being very smart and they're taking their cash flow that they're making and they're putting it back into another property. And they're continuing to repeat that, okay? And that's what you guys anyone that sets their mind to do this, because at the end of the day, we both know that this is not rocket science, okay? Not rocket science. However, the thing that people need to get away from is they're allowing the fear to hold them back. The fear of the unknown. And I'm sure that you and your husband were nervous, going into all of it. It's like, what is the option? We're going to stick to our 9 to 5 and let our 401k be lazy and then work till we're 150 million years old and have no retirement and then end up getting a job at like 7-Eleven or the dollar store where you see a lot of elderly people working because they don't have a choice. Like, honey, if that doesn't scare you to take action, I don't know what the hell will, because to me, that is scary as hell.
Listen.
Okay? So what's the scarier choice? The 9 to 5 be whatever, or, face your fear and it's never as bad as it seems to be when you're afraid. Our mind always makes it up to seem like so much worse, right? And then once you attack it, you're like, all right, that wasn't that bad.
Yeah, and you don't even have to own 8 units. You don't have to own, like, I have friends that own like 40 and 50 rentals. You don't have to do all that. Just make sure your money is making money. Like, literally, if the only way your money is making money right now today is in a savings account, stop.
Lazy.
Literally, that's like $1.02 a year.
That's ridiculous. Like, that is what, I mean, I can't, okay? There are so many things that are like, it's like, holy cow, like there's so many things that society programs people to do, and they just think, and even when I was younger, I'm totally an old soul, because I was always the one that would say, don't let society dictate how you live your life. Okay, just because someone else is doing this and they're doing that, and okay, now it's time to go to college. Okay, now it's time to get married. Now it's time to have a baby. Now you should have this, you should have that, do this. No. Okay, that's the 9 to 5 bot syndrome. Okay, like you're a zombie. So your money could be working for you guys. So I'm really hoping that Kendra is inspiring you, man, because, social media is a really beautiful thing, because when you are in a certain field, social media knows what the heck you're looking at. Okay, so, I ended up seeing Kendra, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I love this. I need to, link up with this woman and share her story with others. I mean, listen, I have a little platform on YouTube. We all have some type of platform, but you don't realize that. I mean, when I started my YouTube channel, I had no idea, it was going to inspire so many people. Okay. And you don't realize how many people you're going to inspire. And I know if this doesn't inspire you, I mean, I really don't know what will, because she's telling you that she did not know everything when she started. She only knew one type of loan. Okay. And once they just realized that after the cash flow game, okay, that this is how we need to play in real life, honey. We got to be winning. Okay, so, she took, I have to commend you, Kendra, because you know that and you coach people too, okay? So if you're interested in, and I'll, well, first of all, Kendra coaches people, so I'm going a mile a minute, but you know that you understand that your mindset is not typical.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I'm like, I'm going to bet on myself, and I'm not scared. I'm not risk averse, but everyone's not like that.
Not at all. Okay. So, but even if you take, 50% of Kendra's mindset and action taking, you guys are going to win. Okay. And Kendra, tell people, and I want to go into a little bit more with you, but tell people, Kendra does coach people. Okay. So tell people where they could reach you and what what you coach on.
So we can link the website below. I do one-on-one coaching, but it is on hold until like the early fall, because I'm like 6 weeks away from my due date. We're about to have a baby. Yeah, baby girl.
She's bringing in a mini mogul.
Yes, a little future real estate investor. So check back early fall for coaching, but I do have some really great like courses and ebooks and things to help you get started. So we can put the link for that below. But I do want to encourage people, like literally, if you're listening to this right now, you're already starting out better than I did because you already know way more than I did when I started. So when it comes to looking at any of my resources or Jennifer's resources, like get the education, but then like take action. It's so important.
Yeah, listen, if you're not taking action, nothing is going to happen. Okay. And that's where the growth happens. And yes, you're going to be uncomfortable. But what I always tell people is get comfortable being uncomfortable, because that's the end of the day. You're just going through it and you're paving your way. And another thing is, don't compare someone's journey to yours. Okay. Just because someone has 50 million situations going on, you stay focused on your own journey. Okay. And that's what I tell people about social media. Like you were saying, they're going to see you now and think, oh, look at her, must be nice. Meanwhile, they don't know all the sacrifice and hustle and, cons that maybe you had with some tenants or maybe whatever. You know what I'm saying? So you can't judge someone from where you see them now, because everybody has their story and journey and sacrifices to how they were able to get there. And listen, we're all, even when you're in your journey, we're still evolving and growing and learning, because you never know everything. And things are always changing, especially mortgages. I mean, they change faster than you could change your panties, for lack of a better word. Okay, so Kendra, if you could, leave women, and listen, we don't discriminate, okay? Men and female. However, we're targeting, to inspire women, just because we want you guys to get off the sidelines, okay? You can totally do this. Okay, I promise you, let Kendra's story inspire you, man, how they really didn't know, honey. They played a game cash flow and said, hell, let's get a duplex, boop, 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 and put it into real life. So if you were to leave, the people who are watching with a couple of snippets of, what you think they should do, or action or inspiration, what would you leave them with?
So the first thing is, you are worthy of wealth. That is so important. First of all, I think it's not promoted enough in our community. We're worthy of it. Like, a lot of us are starting from ground zero, building from the ground up. You're worthy of it. Yes, you. Yes, you.
Yes, 100%.
100%. The other thing is, like Jennifer said, like, take action. Don't be afraid to start. Like, literally everything you're trying to achieve is right on the other side of fear, which I know is so cliche.
It is, though. It's so true, though. It's so true.
And then I just want to make sure that you guys are out there really leveraging all of the resources you can. If you're a first-time home buyer, make sure you're looking into like first-time home buyer programs and things like that. There's so many resources out there.
Let me interject on that a little bit. And I've spoken about this on a couple of other videos and lives, but maybe someone's drawn to this video more, so let's speak on it. Okay. FHA loan, first time homeowner loan. Okay. You could get a 203K, which is a rehab loan. So you could do your house hacking with that. Do you understand? And you could put, depending on your credit, your down payment's going to be anywhere between 3% and 3.5%. Okay, but you'll have the resources to rehab it. Let's just say you just get a duplex, okay, and you're living in one, like Kendra was saying, but now you're utilizing the FHA loan, not the conventional that she did, okay? So you understand that she's telling you you're ahead of the game because of the knowledge that we're providing you right now. You're ahead of the game. She put down 25%. You could put down 3, okay? And you could, or 3.5, okay, rather, and you could have your tenant paying your expenses, darling, okay? And that one unit can then propel you to the next one and to the next one. But if you're making sacrifices and doing right with your money, not if you're being frivolous with it, okay? You have to be calculated about it, but you will win and you can do it.
You can do it. I mean, I have a coaching client who bought a 4-unit building while she's in grad school.
Wow.
She only put $5,000 down. Like, hello, $5,000, like that's easy to save. And
100%.
She's in grad school. So if you're sitting there thinking you can't do it, like, look at her story as an example, So yeah.
there's so many inspirational stories. And as I said in the intro to this, that, you know, more women are involved in this. Okay. Mm-hmm. We're just a bit more incognito. Okay. Mm-hmm. We're underground. We're doing our thing. Okay. We're learning. We're growing. Okay. Kendra and I decided to, and first of all, you know, decided to, you know, inspire and help other people because, you know, it's a purpose. You know, you feel it within you to help other people. You're like, holy cow, I can help so many other people. And it's like, to me, honestly, that, you know, listen, I love real estate, but helping, like, seeing other people's wins is like, holy cow. Like, it's just
that's amazing.
Right? Aren't your students wins? Like, you're like, yes.
Oh, it is like
day when you get like a text or like an email and you're like, yes, we closed. And you're like, I'm like, it's like their wins are mine. But it's just like, you know, learn and then learn to teach, man. Learn to teach. Like, don't have that. And another thing is that, you know, you notice that we're not holding back information. Okay. We're not of that era where people are holding back information. Okay. You could tell them, you know, we're going to give you everything. And if you choose to work with us, obviously you're going to get even more than that. Okay. Mm-hmm. But we're not in the area of keeping like secret, like we're keeping it cut and straight to the dry. You saw what Kendra did and you could essentially do the same thing. So, I mean, I get so excited about this. That's why I'm like all over the place because it's just so exciting, right? It's so exciting. So learn to teach. You guys, everyone has a desire to help people too. So but you can't help others if you have not helped yourself first. Okay. So you have to grind, you have to sacrifice, and you also have to have the right mindset too. You do have to believe. So you do have to believe that you deserve abundance. Okay. Because if you don't, you're blocking the blessing. You're blocking the blessing. Okay. So I will put Kendra's information at the bottom, okay? If you guys want to reach out to her, I'm going to put her Instagram. I'll put, you know, her links to all her contact information if you guys want to connect with her, if you resonated with her. Kendra, I want to thank you, because I could have this conversation with you for so long, girl, because you know when we're in business, like, this is our, like, we don't gossip, this is our gossiping.
Yeah, like, I could talk about real estate all day.
Right?
Like, I'm such a nerd, but it's, you know, it's my passion.
Girl, that's not a nerd, okay? It's called making it work, okay? It's called making it work, and then you're sharing. So I really want to thank you so much for agreeing to do this, because you don't know me from a hole in the wall, okay? And I just literally reached out.
Your energy is like so contagious. So I'm like, hey, if you want to do this again, well, maybe like early fall.
Yes, definitely.
After I get this baby out. But no, I really enjoyed it. Like Jennifer said, contact information below. Please, like, hit me up on Instagram if you saw this and let me know you saw it. And yeah, just get out there and take action, you guys.
Take action, okay? We're going to leave you with take action, okay? Because this time next year, if you take action, let's just say on one property, if you're a renter and you don't own property yet, go for the FHA and do the house hacking. And that will start your journey, okay? But do your homework. And not everyone's going to hand feed you everything, even when you work with someone. Even when you're working with the best coach, you still have to be an entrepreneur and you have to be resourceful, okay? You have to be resourceful in your own market and take action. So thank you. Don't leave me yet, though, okay?
Okay.
Thank you so much, baby girl. And we hope we inspired you. I know we did. There's no way in heck we didn't inspire you with Kendra's story, okay? So have a beautiful, beautiful day, guys. And we'll see you on the flip side.